Hello and welcome to Space Shark Teaches. I'm Sean from Space Shark Studios, and I'm here to teach you GDScript in Godot 3.1. Let's get started.
In this lesson, I will be adding a smooth follow camera and teaching you how to program it yourself from scratch. So the first thing we're going to do is going to be to take this camera and actually turn it into its own scene. So we right click, we go Save Branch as Scene, into Scenes, and then we can call it Ball Camera, and then click on this little icon to open it up. And from here, we're going to start adding some code to make this a little bit more automated instead of us having to set things up. Because as you can see right now, we have all sorts of settings in here. We don't want to set this here. We want to be able to use a script. So let's go ahead and click on the script icon. Make sure that the script goes into the scripts folder. And click Create. Now in here, we want to go ahead and add a couple of variables. So one of them is a player path. We're going to do export player path equals node path. So this export, adding this onto the end, export bar, this lets the compiler know what type to expect, so that when you're clicking on this, over here it gets the right little pop-up window. So if I had made this a number instead, like 10, you can see it switches to that, but we want a node path so that we can reference something else in the scene. That being our ball. So next we want to do var player, and then an export var follow offset vector 3 of 0, 5, 10, and then export var follow speed. Let's set that to 6. Now we have everything we need. We have the player that we want to follow. We have how far back and up we want to follow them by. And then we have the speed that we want to follow them by. I think the only thing here that we really have to worry about then is going to be the follow angle. So let's just go ahead and do one more. R follow angle. And let's just go ahead and copy what we have down here right now. So now we have the follow offset, the follow angle, and the follow speed. After that, we're going to go into ready. We are going to say the player is get node player path. And what this does is this is basically just a string that it's holding on to that references the player. This actually gets us a handle to that player so that we can call different things directly from that. So for instance, players have a transform, which is where we're going to be getting the location of the player from. Without that, you can't do player path.transform because it doesn't actually have anything like that. You have to go through this first step of the process first. But now we can go ahead and say, let's get a target position. Our target position is going to be our player's transform origin. All right. Plus our follow offset. And so that says we want our position to be wherever the player is, plus this offset. And then we can go ahead and just say our transform origin should be our target position. Seems simple enough, right? So now we can go and say, all right, let's get our ball. Let's keep these defaults. And when we press play, there we go. That's all there was to it. But it looks a little bit stiff. I mean, this would be fine in an older game, but it's not as floaty as I would like because it is attached directly to the ball. It will always be where the ball is at. And then up by 5 and back by 10. So how do we deal with this? Well, we have this target position. What we can do is say, let's take our target position and call something called lerp. So what lerp does is interpolates between between our current position and where we want to be. And this weight is, think of it as a percentage along a line between 2 points. If you have point A up here and point B over here, at 0% you would be here, at 100% you'd be here, or 0 and 1 because it's a 0 to 1 range. At 0.5 you'd be around here, at 0.25 around here, and so that's what we're doing. And we're going to be using this delta, which is the time between the last 2 frames. What this will do is actually take these 2 positions, so where we are right now and where we want to be, and then take a tiny bit towards that direction. And it will do that every single frame, getting closer and closer. And so you get that nice, smooth look. The problem is, you can go off frame now. And if you remember, we haven't used our follow speed yet. We can multiply our follow speed, and we're good. So now you can see we can control how stuck to the camera we want to be, or how stuck to the ball we want the camera to be. Our follow angle, if we want to update that each time, we can just do transform dot what is it? It's the rotation. Let's see. No, so we'll just leave that for now. Let's go ahead and leave this off. Hadn't tested that one out yet. And we can just use this original rotation degrees to control what this looks like. As you can see, that's already what we're doing here, is using that 30 degrees. If I went and changed this to -15, so it looks higher, you can see that the ball is lower on the screen than it was. So we'll just leave it at that nice -30 that it was to begin with. And that is it. You now have a follow cam. This works in other games as well. Any sort of third-person game that you want to make a camera for, this is a very easy way to program one yourself. There are other options in here as well. If you search for camera, there's AR/VR, there's interpolated. Interpolated, I believe, does a similar thing to what we just did, including the offset and all that, but it's more important to learn it because there might be a different time that you want to do something similar, like say having a drone follow your character around that you can see that's behind the camera or in front of the camera. So things like that where you can reuse these scripts, because all this does, all that ball script is a follow behind script. Follow behind at a certain speed with some interpolation and smoothing going on in the back end. So that is it. I'll be trying to put up a new episode next week. So stay tuned. See you then.
Thank you for watching Space Shark Teaches. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel and remember to click the bell to always stay up to date. Please also join us on our Discord, linked in the comments, and check out our other videos if you ever want to see what else we've been up to. Thanks again for watching, and we can't wait to see what you make.